So let me ask you wrestling fans this while I have about 7 minutes before I have to board my bus again, right in the back of me to go to Newman, as you can see this little sign back there. But let me ask you this. Ironically, we have two tournaments going on right now in both AEW and WWE. WWE has already started theirs, which is to crown new women's tag team champions. Well, AEW is about to start theirs with the trios tag team titles that they created, the 6-man titles. So the question obviously is that a lot of people are probably wondering and curious about when it comes to both companies. Is basically, is the time right to be doing these? I mean, everybody expected us to get trios tag team titles, and, we are. There is no doubt about that, but, the obvious question is the time right to be doing it? Are there enough 6-man teams? I mean, they have to basically incorporate Wilson Ray and Aussie Open into the tournament and such, along with bringing in Dragon Lee to be with Rush and Andrade. That's fine. And then the Young Bucks, they need to get a partner, which obviously is going to be either Adam Page or Kenny Omega. But still, despite that, the people still have that question of, is the time right? And the same with the women's tag team tournament over at WWE. I mean, just Alex and JD, they basically all said, the same thing of, look how Frankenstein this tournament is. These teams that are being put together are, and they're even asking the same question of, is the time right? Is it right for them to, to be doing these tournaments? Because both companies obviously don't have enough teams for these respective divisions just yet. I mean, AEW obviously has the roster big enough to do it, but WWE, as far as the women's tag team division goes, they don't. So the question obviously that they have is the time right? And that's something that both companies, in my opinion, if you want my honest answer, are going to have to live with once these tournaments are said and done with, because then it's going to be up to them to kind of push and incorporate these teams, down the line, but most, along with these championships that they'll be fighting for. If you're putting these teams together, then you're going to have to push these people or these trios as teams that are going to be featured a lot, not just one-time deals, because you want to crown champions, via tournament. But yeah, obviously a lot of people are going back and forth, and they feel, honestly, on both sides of the fence here, that the time isn't right, really. That you need to establish enough teams on both sides of the spectrum, despite the size of your roster, before you consider putting a tournament like this together. So, yeah. It's one of those situations to where obviously competition, despite being on different nights, is good for everybody, but maybe, being competitive, a la creating tournaments, with teams that, are established, Frankenstein, but, not enough on both sides of the spectrum. Maybe doing these tournaments at a time where this, new competitive spirit on both ends is coming about. A lot of people may feel that the timing is not right. But again, like I said, it's something that AEW and WWE are going to have to deal with in the coming months after these tournaments are done, because it's going to be up to them and the creative side of things to decide how they book these titles after this tournament and how they establish these teams they put together, or these teams they're putting into these tournaments, as teams that we're going to be regularly seen on a weekly basis. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys. Do you think the timing is right for these tournaments, or do you think both companies should have waited? Let me know down below, and I'll talk to y'all later.